and daughters from Beth Barra Academy. They are led by the proprietress of the academy by name Hannah Kwe, and the academy is located in the Weja-Bawe constituency. There are 36 in number. On your behalf, I warmly welcome them to Parliament and to this very important session of Parliament. I hope they will get time to listen to this debate and also the presentation of the budget. Honorable members, please, your own sons and daughters will be judging you. I hope and pray that you put up the best for them to emulate. Please, you are most welcome. You may resume your seats. Honorable members, we may now go on. Chairman of the committee, you may present the report now.
Right, Honorable Speaker. As indicated, the committee duly complied with Standing Order 217 and any other relevant law relating to the vetting of the Chief Justice. Right, Honorable Speaker, by way of welcome address, the minority leader raised some issues. Right, Honorable Speaker, all the issues raised by the minority leader have been dealt with by the committee in accordance with law. Right, Honorable Speaker, at the conclusion of the preliminary issues raised by the minority leader, the minority staged a walkout and indicated that the minority caucus has rejected the nominee and that the minority caucus hereby votes en bloc to reject the nominee, though at that material moment the actual vetting had not commenced and we were not voting. Right, Honorable Speaker, thereafter, the committee proceeded to vet the nominee And by the report, we can see the preliminary comments made by the nominee, his background, and the response to salient questions. Right, Honorable Speaker, the nominee was asked questions such as the perceived nomination by the President as reward. He provided answers to that. Questions like duration of presidential election petition, cost of litigation and access to justice, regional access to Court of Appeal, empaneling of judges at the Supreme Court, addressing backlog of cases and delays in justice delivery, judicial leadership, and managing dissent views. Cases involving remand prisoners and congestion in our prisons. Establishment of Court of Appeal for the 5 northern regions. Restoration of public confidence in the judiciary. Addressing perception of corruption on part of the judiciary. Reintroduction of electronic case management system. Appointment of judges and judicial independence. Curbing public suspicion of executive overreach in judicial appointment. Judicial reforms and institution of development. Propriety of proceedings with a vetting process. Case management and judicial administration. Right, Honorable Speaker, I will urge the Hansard Department to capture the entire report as having been read, and I would read the recommendation and the conclusion of the committee. Right, Honorable Speaker, by way of recommendation, the committee recommends to the House, by majority decision, the approval of the nomination of Justice Paul Bafo-Boni for the appointment as Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana. Right, Honorable Speaker, all the new patriotic members of the committee, minority, indicated before the vetting that they have voted against the nominee. Right, Honorable Speaker, the committee acting in accordance with the provisions of Article 1441 of the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana and Order 217 of the Standing Orders of Parliament, duly examined the nominee submitted by His Excellency the President of the Republic of Ghana for appointment as Chief Justice. Upon careful deliberations, the committee knows that the nominee demonstrated outstanding competence a very deep knowledge of the law and a firm grasp of the judicial ethics. he addressed questions posed by the committee with professionalism, clarity, and intellectual rigor, reflecting his capacity to uphold the independence, integrity, and dignity of the highest court of the land. The committee is satisfied that the nominee possesses the requisite qualification, judicial temperament, and commitment to constitutional values expected of Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana. In conclusion, all the members of New Patriotic Party minority were opposed and indicated from the onset before vetting that they are voting against the nomination of the Chief Justice nominee, and subsequently walk out of the proceedings after the preliminary remark by the Honorable Minority Leader on behalf of the Minority Caucus. The committee therefore recommends to the House by majority decision the adoption of the report of the approval of Justice Paul Bafo Boni as Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana. Right Honorable Speaker, I so submit.
Honorable members, the motion has been moved. Any seconder?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion, ably read by the chairman of the committee. Mr. Speaker, we had a public hearing which was scheduled and held on the 10th of November. The nominee, Justice Paul Bafo Boni, was present, and he responded to the questions that the members of the committee actually posed to him. Mr. Speaker, as Chairman rightly said, he demonstrated his deep knowledge of the law and the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, his background, knowledge, and experience left us in no doubt that he is actually the right person for the job. Mr. Speaker, his exceptional vision of the judiciary and what he intends to do when this House approves his nomination was quite exceptional. As the chairman rightly said, I will urge this House to approve the nomination of Justice Paul Bafo Boni. Mr. Speaker, thank you very much.
Honorable members, the motion has been moved and seconded. It's now for the consideration of the House. At conclave this morning, we agreed that we will take 2 members from each side from the group that we refer to as backbenchers. So 2 backbenchers from each side of the House. They have submitted, your leaders have submitted the names to me, and I'll refer to them. Then the middle belt will have a member each, and the front bench, the ship will have a member each, and then the leaders will conclude. So we are having 5 from each side of the House. The backbenchers have 5 minutes each 5 minutes each. The middle belt, 7 minutes. And then the ship, 10 minutes, and the leaders, 15 minutes each. This was the understanding at conclave. Since the motion was moved and seconded from the majority side, we will now listen to a backbencher from the minority, and there are 2 members presented as backbenchers, Honorable Anthony Imia and then Honorable Sami Awuku. So either Anthony Imia or Sami Awuku will start. 5 minutes. Yes, Minority Leader.
Speaker, with respect, thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, we are going by the agreement, except to say that when we are sending the list to you, we proposed to take our list in a certain order, but it will still comply 5 each for the back bench, the middle bench, and then the ship and the leader. So, Mr. Speaker, if you check, Mr. Speaker, so if you check the list we gave, the ship, we yielded to Honorable Anyimedu to start his 10 minutes for the ship allocation. He yielded to him. And then we have Honorable Tampuli for the middle, which is the 7 minutes. And then after him, our backbench 5-5. So that is how we would end our side. So we would plead with Mr. Speaker to go by the order that we wrote, but still complies with our agreement without any.
Honorable members, I've been told that the order they want to contribute to the debate is to go by the numbers that they have presented to me, starting from 1 to 5. If I'm to go by that, 1 is Honorable Enyimedu Kwame Entry, and I'm told he is to have 10 minutes. So, Honorable, you may do so now.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm grateful for the report that is ably presented to the House by the chairman of the committee, Honorable Ehiafo. Amongst the things that the First Deputy Speaker had told Ghanaians are that the new patriotic party members on our side, before we could do or finish the vetting, had indicated, I chose my words correctly, before we could conclude. Before we could conclude the vetting, had indicated that we were going to vote en bloc. What the chairman refused to tell this House and Ghanaians are the reasons that we had adduced for voting against the nominee. We indicated at the committee that we're going to vote against the nominee. Mr. Speaker, amongst the other things that we have stated are that there are 7 separate proceedings at the various jurisdictions, inclusive of the High Court, the Supreme Court, and the ECOWAS Court. Mr. Speaker, Ghana is a member of ECOWAS. and a very serious member of ECOWAS. Under the ECOWAS, we have the ECOWAS Parliament, we have the ECOWAS Court, and Mr. Speaker, we must respect the court. What would happen if all these cases that are pending before the courts, they decide and they go against the government? Mr. Speaker, Attorney General, as at now, had not, in most of the cases, had not filed anything challenging the issues at stake. All we are saying is that, Mr. Speaker, under normal circumstances, we have the Chief Justice of the land. And if the seat is vacant, we must have someone to occupy the seat. It must be something that we should do with joy. It must be something that every Ghanaian must be interested. But, Mr. Speaker, the very basis that is giving rise for the vacancy of this seat is challenged. The very basis is what we are saying, that it is pending at the various courts. So it has not arisen for us to challenge or to go through the vetting and vote for another member occupy that seat.
Honorable member, please, you may move to another issue. I have already pronounced on this matter. I won't go back. If you are dissatisfied with my pronunciation, my ruling on the matter, by our rules, you know what to do. You cannot come through the back door. Go through the front door and come properly to this house. You may move to another issue.
I'm grateful, Mr. Speaker. I respect you and I respect your ruling, Mr. Speaker. I wouldn't challenge that. I'll move on, Mr. Speaker. Save that, Mr. Speaker, I'm not challenging. I just wanted that is our view, and that is what I expected the chairman to inform the House and to Ghanaians. But I'll go on. Mr. Speaker, amongst the other things that we seek to tell Ghanaians is that the very person, Mr. Justice Bafubani, stands conflicted because the very person that is occupying a seat is sitting under a number of cases to determine the old Chief Justice whether it is right or wrong for the person to be seated. And that we say that he is conflicted.
Honorable member, please. You are a highly respected legal luminary. You were lecturing law at the university. You are now a member of Parliament, and you carry a lot of respect. What you are submitting now is at the wrong forum. That is at the wrong forum. And so please, I will just advise that you move to another issue, because you know what to do. The issue you are raising, not here. Please.
Mr. Speaker, I'm very grateful. Mr. Speaker, I accept to plead with you, Mr. Speaker. I thought that we on this side of the House, Mr. Speaker, on your left, would want to tell you and Ghanaians why we had indicated that we were voting en bloc. Mr. Speaker, it has nothing to challenge. It has nothing to challenge your reasons. And Mr. Speaker, We have, this is the Parliament of Ghana. And Mr. Speaker, this is a very serious...
Honorable member, please, I'm happy that you know that this Parliament of Ghana. And so, if you have a matter before the National House of Chiefs, you don't move to talk about your case before the National House of Chiefs at the meeting of the caucus of the youth. Please, that is a different forum. You know what to do. Please.
I pursue to be my duty here, Mr. Speaker, is to urge it out to Ghanaians why we have taken a stand. Amongst the other things is that, Mr. Speaker, we see this practice. This is very serious, that the executive is controlling Parliament and Ghana. Mr. Speaker, the executive...
Honorable member.
The executive...
Honorable member. Please. The statement you just made is a very serious statement. As I sit here, please, there is no executive that can control me. I want to assure you.
Right, Mr. Speaker, I pray thee. Maybe I didn't make myself clearer. But what I mean, Mr. Speaker, is that, and Mr. Speaker, I think I need your protection.
Honorable members,
Mr. Speaker, what I mean by what I've said.
Please, I'm in charge. I will allow the debate to flow within the remit of our rules, our practice, and our conventions. And in fact, I made that known at the meeting at the conclave. Your leaders are aware. But I must apply the rules. If not, my presence here is of no use to the whole country and to the practice of democracy. Please, so I'm very, very careful with what I do. You may go on.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm guided. Mr. Speaker, the point I would want to make here is that there are three arms of government: the executive, the judiciary, and the legislature. And Mr. Speaker, what's our side of the House?
Honorable members, please, I have taken note of all the interjections, and he has 10 minutes. So I'm looking at the 10 minutes, and I'm deducting all the interjections from his 10 minutes. So either you keep your cool, listen, And when it's your turn, you put across your own views, or we stay here till midnight. I will not take any minute from his 10 minutes. So please, you may go on.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Amongst my 10 minutes, I may want to plead, Mr. Speaker, may I remind the House of Article 115 of the Constitution. And I read, Mr. Speaker, there shall be freedom of speech, debates, and proceedings in Parliament, and that freedom shall not be impeached or questioned in any court or place out of Parliament. With the end of proceedings, just a reminder. What I am saying, Mr. Speaker, is that
you just read the provision. It says it shall not be questioned in any place out of Parliament or where? Court. We are in the House here. So here it can be questioned here.
Mr. Speaker, now that I am guided that when a parliamentarian is speaking, one can gag the person, I take note.
Please,
Mr. Speaker.
Please, honorable member.
Mr. Speaker, it will get to other people.
Don't mislead the public. Please.
Mr. Speaker, I need your protection.
Honorable member, I will protect you, but don't mislead the public. We do not say gag the member, but you read the provision 115. Please, this is an opportunity for many to learn, and many of our citizens are listening to us. I want to read it carefully. 115, there shall be freedom of speech, debate, and proceedings in Parliament, and that freedom shall not be impeached or questioned in any court or place out of Parliament. So, as I preside here, I can question your freedom of speech applying the rules, but I cannot go out of Parliament to question it or go to court to question it. But here in session, that freedom is open to question or to impeachment. Please, the rules are clear even in our standing orders. Don't mislead the public. You may go on.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the point I am making is that on our side, we believe that one arm of government is controlling another arm of government. And in this case, the executive is controlling the judiciary. By this act, Mr. Speaker, the act of where there is the head of judiciary, that judiciary is removed, and that had not been exhausted. And these matters are pending before various courts. The 7 cases that are pending, Mr. Speaker, I can go ahead and then mention it. Mr. Speaker, amongst other things.
Please, I've taken note. I've taken note of your time. The majority leader is on his feet. Please, what is the issue? I've taken note of your time, please. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, our standing orders in Order 123 clearly prescribes the content of a speech. And 123(2) says that a member shall not use offensive, abusive, insulting, blasphemous, or unbecoming words on a member or any other person, or impute improper motives, or impugn the integrity of a member or any other person. Mr. Speaker, he has said that the executive, that is the president, essentially, when you say the executive, you are talking about the president. He has said that the president, the executive, is controlling the judiciary. Mr. Speaker, for a member to say on the floor that the president is controlling the judiciary, when the president has sworn an oath before this House to uphold and defend the Constitution, and the Constitution does not make provision for the president to control the judiciary. So when you stand in this House and say that the president is controlling the judiciary, you are clearly impugning the integrity of the president. So, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, I therefore think that the member is out of order, and you should direct, Mr. Speaker, that should be struck out of the records of this House.
Honorable members, the member has expressed his opinion. And in expressing his opinion, the member Honorable members, just a few days ago, I talked about the clapping of hands. That is not part of the practice of this House. You can heckle your colleague, but don't use your hand and be clapping. It's not. Please, I identified the person who was doing that. But at least for today, you will be pardoned. Next time, I will not do so. Honorable members, please, let me repeat. The member expressed his opinion. And in expressing his opinion, he never used any offensive, abusive, insulting, blasphemous, or unbecoming words on the executive or any other person. So he's entitled to express his opinion. Once he hasn't used any such word, I think he's in order and he should continue.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker, for my protection, for your protection. I'm grateful. Mr. Speaker, there are various cases pending before the courts. There is a matter of the, and Mr. Speaker, if I may make a small reference. There is this case of the Chief Justice Gertrude Tokono versus Article 146.
Honorable member,
Committee.
please, Honorable member, you can't take us back. I pronounce on this matter. Why? Honorable member, you know, please, minority leader, may you kindly allow the very competent honorable member to continue with his submissions. I am very observant, and I have watched you, and I've seen and even heard some of the things you are whispering to him. That is not allowed. Please, he is competent enough. I am very vigilant. Please. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, with respect, the respected Dominic Nito is here. All we are telling him is to focus and abide by your direction. He is, Mr. Speaker, please, Mr. Speaker, he is a Catholic, I'm a Catholic, you are. I'm rather telling him to focus so that you don't have to come in again.
Please.
Mr. Speaker, I am, with respect, we are here. I am telling him that focus on the issues that are non-controversial. That's what I'm telling him, Mr. Speaker. I beg of you, for records, I don't want to be misquoted. Mr. Speaker.
Honorable minority leader.
Mr. Speaker, in any event, I have a right to confer with my colleague to confer.
Honorable minority leader, you are facing your colleagues. You are facing your colleagues in the majority, and also the part of the public gallery behind them. I am facing the majority and facing the minority and facing the whole public gallery. I observe what is happening. Truly, Honorable Dominic Nito kept on drawing his attention to go back my rulings and focus on his dissent. I watched that. I eavesdropped. That is true. Honorable minority leader, when you turn and you are talking to him, I don't only see you, but I also hear you. Please, honorable member, just go on with your submission.
I'm grateful, Mr. Speaker.
Now, please, you are now left with 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Mr. Speaker, it is common knowledge that, and it's our belief, that this constitution, the very constitution that we are protecting and guarding against, is being breached because there was no prima facie case made against the former Chief Justice, and the matter still remains in court. Mr. Speaker, the matter still remains in court, and that had not been dispensed with. Mr. Speaker, other applications have been filed for certiorari that decisions that have been made must be quashed. Again,
honorable member,
those decisions,
please. No, you can't litigate that case before Parliament. You can't. This is not the forum for that. Please, if you go that way again, I'll apply the rules. You know the rules. Please.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, we also want Ghanaians to know, and I cited the primary facie case, and nobody knows it in Ghana. We are, Mr. Speaker, the reports that, and we are told that there were 3 petitions against the former Chief Justice, and we heard of 1. The report of the committee, Mr. Speaker, remains unpublished. We don't even know what went into that. And we believe that as Ghanaians, before we get to today, we must know the details of why there is vacancy in Ghana that we need to fill. All we are saying that this arm of government and the head of that arm of government, which is judiciary, Mr. Speaker, that seat is not vacant. And even if an attempt had been made to make it vacant, that attempt, Mr. Speaker, we cannot see through that. We think that is faulted, that is
Honorable members.
Mr. Speaker, we expected.
Honorable members, the honorable member has finished with his submission. The time is up. And honorable members, I direct that all what he said after my last ruling are expunged from the records. I have a number of times drawn his attention that this is not the forum for the litigation of those cases. What we are considering now is the appointment of a nominee. That nominee has been taken through the process of public hearing. You had the opportunity to appear before the committee and to put across all what you just alleged. You opted to boycott. It is now not for you to come through the back door and be making allegations. Hearsay. Evidence is not admissible here. Please, let's move on. We now will listen to, from the majority side, whether they also want me to go by the order that they've numbered. And therefore, from the majority side, they started with the backbenchers. And the first backbencher is Honorable Zuwera Ibrahima. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, for this opportunity to look at the report of the Appointments Committee with regards to the nomination of the Chief Justice nominee of the Republic of Ghana. Mr. Speaker, I want to make this preliminary statement that I actually had the very rare opportunity and privilege to sit through the entire vetting process on Monday. From beginning to end, Mr. Speaker, I was there. I saw everything that played out. But, Mr. Speaker, we'll leave issues of that day for another time. Today, we are looking at Justice Paul Bafuboni. And, Mr. Speaker, from very humble beginnings, born in Gwaso, in today Ahafo region, Gwaso, his lordship worked his way out and worked higher the ladder of leadership of this country. Mr. Speaker, his background any day is worth celebrating. And Mr. Speaker, as I sat in the vetting session and listened to my Lord Justice Paul Bafuboni, I was convinced that he was the best suited for the position at this time. Mr. Speaker, why do I say this? My Lordship was nominated to the Supreme Court in January 2008. He spent 17 years at the Supreme Court. And Mr. Speaker, even at home, we all have this adage that we say, experience is the best teacher. After 17 years, Justice Paul Bafuboni demonstrated at vetting that this country and the judicial system of this country is going into very safe hands. Mr. Speaker, I say this because as a woman, Mr. Speaker, and a champion of women leadership, I want to celebrate all the women chief justices that we've had. We had Her Lordship Georgina Wood, who was appointed to the Supreme Court in 2002 and became Chief Justice in 2007. She reigned for 10 years, and we all saw the output of her work.
Yes.
It was not in question.
Yes.
Her capabilities were never in question. Mr. Speaker, we saw Her Lordship Sophia Akufu, who had spent 22 years at the Supreme Court before becoming a Chief Justice in 2017. Mr. Speaker, she exited the role with impeccable credentials. Mr. Speaker, again, let me say this to this House, and I want it on record. Again, I had the opportunity to be a member of the vetting committee, appointments committee that vetted Her Ladyship Tokono. Mr. Speaker, I recall I asked one question. I asked my Lordship, what are the attributes of a good Chief Justice? Give me 5 attributes. She gave 1. And she turned and asked me, what did you say again? Mr. Speaker, the Saturday after that vetting, a former member of this House, a learned member of this House, Honorable A.B.F. Hussaini, was on Joy Newsfire discussing the vetting of Her Lord. And he said,
Honorable members, Deputy Minority Leader, Deputy Minority Leader, please, honorable members, may we have your ears. Deputy Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I know that, hello, Mr. Speaker, the mention of the former Chief Justice, Tokono, is not a subject under discussion at this point in time. If you look at the report, I think we are relating the report that has been submitted before us.
He's attacking him.
And attacking the personality of Chief Justice is not something that we have to entertain. So I just call for the expansion of that part, attacking the former Chief Justice, to be expunged from the debate. Thank you very much.
Honorable, please, honorable members, please. I heard her say that as a woman, she was going to celebrate women that were Chief Justices, and started with Her Lordship Justice Georgina Wood, and said so many things about her. I practiced before her when she was High Court judge. I know her very well. Then she proceeded to Justice Sophia Akufu. She was in practice, private practice, when I was also practicing. So I know her very well. Now she proceeded to Justice Tokunu. She is far behind me, so when I was in flight, she was not available. She was saying what happened. Please, she was. Honorable members, please, I have to relate to this before I give my ruling. She was sharing her experience when she appeared at the Appointments Committee, and that she member speaking was a member of the Appointments Committee. And she asked her a question about the five attributes of a Chief Justice. And now she's going through what took place. So I was keenly listening to her to see whether she will pass the acid test of our rules. That is why I'm following her keenly. If she doesn't, I'll call her to order. Please, I'm listening. I will not allow her to say anything that is unparliamentary about the former Chief Justice. Please. Yes. Honorable member, you are left with 1 minute, 30 seconds.
All right. Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. So, Right Honorable Speaker, to pick up from where I left off. So this is the experience with Her Ladyship Gertrude Araba Tokono. To the extent that the former Member of Parliament, Honorable A.B.F. Hussein, had occasion to speak on Joy News File on the Saturday, and said that in his opinion, the most important question that was asked that day was the question asked by Honorable Zuwaira Mohammed Ibrahim. And the Chief Justice nominee failed to answer that question. Now, Mr. Speaker, I'm making this point in order that I can dovetail effectively into my next point. Mr. Speaker,
Honorable member,
Mr.
please.
Speaker,
please. Honorable member, as you rightly stated, that is the opinion of Honorable ABA Husseini. As to the marks you are giving to her answer, it is not for you to be satisfied with her answer. Once you ask the question, even on the floor here, the answers that are given does not necessarily satisfy the people who ask the questions. You cannot use that as the basis to judge her on this particular situation when she is not in question. We are not here discussing the former Chief Justice. No. So if you are going to celebrate them, and let's move on. Please. Yes, Honorable Dominic Nintini.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm guided.
They've called. Mr. Speaker, thank you very much.
The record has to be expunged. It has to be expunged.
Mr. Speaker, that tells us one thing. They are not listening to you because they have known that you called me.
Please go on.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, I want to really thank you. People who are not here to defend themselves, as Mr. Speaker has said, if you want to say adverse things about them, Mr. Speaker, I want to plead, as you have done, you protect them. So I want to say to you that, Mr. Speaker, as you want to say, Mr. Speaker, that I call on you to let them expunge that particular section so that it does not stay in the Hansard. The section, the point she just made in trying to give marks to somebody who is not here, and even she is the subject of all that we are doing, they should expunge it. Because if there's anything, the record is that she has been our Chief Justice before. And she has cases in court. We don't know what will happen. So they should expunge that portion from the Hansard.
Honorable member, I'm trying to get which portion, because please, what I said was that she referred to the opinion expressed by ABA Husseini, showing that they were not satisfied with her performance. And I said that is his opinion. So is that why you are saying I should get expunged?
No, wait.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the point I'm making, the entire section she referred to the former, the Chief Justice, or Justice Tokono's vetting, where she says that she failed to answer questions. I think that we should expunge that. That's the point I'm making. We should expunge that from the records. Just as you admonish her that she should veer away from it, I'm going further to plead with you to let the Hansard expunge that section completely from the records. Because unless somebody reads your comments, if I'm reading the Hansard and I don't go further to read your comments, I will not know that you have told her to move away from it, and that is not good. I just want them to expunge that section. That's all that I'm saying. The section that goes to say that in her view she has failed those questions, so she should expunge it. That's all I'm saying.
Honorable member, I want to hear you again, because if I had heard the use of the word fail, I would have definitely ruled her out of order. What did you say? What did you say?
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity to correct this. Mr. Speaker, I asked a question to the then nominee, asking her to give 5 attributes of a good Chief Justice, and she mentioned 1. Thereafter, the Saturday after the vetting, Honorable ABA Husseini was on Joy News Newsfile program discussing the entire vetting process. And he indicated that he thought that the most important question that was asked at vetting was the question asked by Honorable Zuwaira Mohammed Ibrahima, to the effect that the nominee should give 5 attributes of a good Chief Justice. That is what I said. I never used the word fail. Hansard is my witness. They can go back and check. The word fail never came from me, Mr. Speaker. He said he was not. Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, I've listened to her, and so I'll proceed to direct that if she had earlier used the word fail, that portion be deleted from the official reports, particularly the word fail. Now, she has stated clearly she did not use it, but it's recorded. And so the official reports will go through all this. If they come across the use of the word fail and the words after it should be deleted from the official reports. Please, now you have 1 minute.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, and tying it all into my previous statements, Justice Bafo-Boni made very strong statements at vetting. And one of the things he said that drives my enthusiasm today, and I quote, he said, "The Constitution of Ghana entrusts the Chief Justice with a dual responsibility to adjudicate cases with fairness and to safeguard the credibility and moral authority of justice itself." Mr. Speaker, it gives all of us comfort. And hope. Mr. Speaker, as I said, I watched Justice Bafo-Boni. He spoke from his heart. This is a man who was ready to leave a job at the prison service so he could marry his sweetheart. And he was adverting with Mrs. Bafo-Boni. Mr. Speaker, it tells you the character of the man. So,
honorable members, may we now listen to Honorable members, may we now listen to Honorable Anthony Emia. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, may I place on record that Gertrude Tokonu, throughout her distinguished service as a judge and Chief Justice, had an impeccable record.
Sure.
Not just impeccable, my Lord. Mr. Speaker, sorry. It was also spotless. Unfortunately, we did not give her the chance to exhaust her full term as Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana. Mr. Speaker, the executive summary before me this afternoon makes capital out of Article 144 of the 1992 Constitution, which has given birth to this exercise and the said report. But in the view of the minority,
The said article has been invoked prematurely. And I say so based on arguments advanced by my colleague, Honorable Anyimedu, citing the various cases. What is interesting about the said cases, Mr. Speaker, is that
Honorable member, don't fall into the same trap. That is not before us. And you know that these are matters pending in the court. So you have the right forum to go and ventilate your grievances and as much as possible vindicate yourself at that forum, not in Parliament. Let's proceed with the business before us. That's all.
I am very grateful, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I will dwell on our own rules from our standing orders, particularly Orders 103F, 1231, 217, Rule 2, as well as 216, Rule 4, in further proceeding with my comment on the report. And with your kind permission, I would want to read the various orders. Mr. Speaker, Order 103F says, a motion shall not relate to a definite issue, and a motion shall relate to a definite issue and not F. Be the subject matter of an action on which a judicial decision is pending in such a way as may, in the opinion of the Speaker, prejudice the interest of the parties to the action. When you move on to 1231, 1231, which is under content of speech, says, a member or a person entitled to participate in a debate shall not make reference to any matter on which judicial decision is pending in such a way, or may, in the opinion of the person presiding, prejudice the interest of the parties in the action. The combined effect of what's going on? The combined effect of Order 103F and 1231, with a greater of respect, is to prohibit reference to parliamentary proceedings that could prejudice cases before the court. But in this particular instance, that is exactly what has preceded events leading to today's report. I will not dwell from what
Please, honorable members, don't tamper with the mic. You may go on.
Then again, if you move to Order 2172 and Order 2164, part of our own rules. And Mr. Speaker, again, I seek your permission to read Order 2172, which says the chairperson and ranking member, and 2 other members of relevant subject matter standing or select committee shall join the members of the appointment committee to consider persons nominated by the President for appointment as Chief Justice and Justice of the Superior Court, Ministers of State, Deputy Ministers, Administrator of the District Assembly's Common Fund, the Special Prosecutor and other persons specified under the Constitution or any other enactment. The 2164 stipulates that the clerk is responsible for arranging questions admitted by the Speaker to conform with the rota and to inform the ministers accordingly. From my understanding, the combined effect of 2164 and 2172 is that, 1, there was no lawful vacancy that is flowing directly from 2172.
Honorable member, you are out of order. Please, your time is up, and we proceed to the next person. Honorable members, we will now listen to Honorable Muntaka Mohammed. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Honorable members, the timing has been captured by the recordings. The instruments will give 5 minutes exactly. So when it gets to the 5 minutes, it will cut off automatically. That is what happened to the honorable member. And so I had to give him extra minutes. So please, Honorable Muntaka Mohammed, Minister for Interior, take note.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you for the opportunity, but to remind the House that, Mr. Speaker, I'm not a backbencher, because I heard earlier Honorable Ayimbadu was given 10 minutes, and I thought, Mr. Speaker, I don't know how the leadership agreed, but the most important thing is that ministers are equated to rankings and chairs. So I don't know if that timing could be relooked at, but other than that, I can proceed.
Honorable member, you are actually not a backbencher, but you have been favored to speak instead of a backbencher. That should have been given to a backbencher. So I thought that you should have shown some gratitude to your leaders. If you think that you are oversized, then we'll get proper size for you next time.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I'll thank you and the leadership for the opportunity to speak in place of a backbencher. But Mr. Speaker, my worry is about the conclusion of the report of the committee. Mr. Speaker, as you may know, the House is guided by rules. And all our rules, Mr. Speaker, because of timing, I want to state that if you take Order 217, it says that the committee's report will either be by consensus or by voting. Mr. Speaker, so far as all of us were concerned, there was no voting at the Appointments Committee. Because, Mr. Speaker, as you know, votings are done at the tail end of the matter, whether it's a motion, whether it's a question, whether it's whatever decision is taken at the tail end. And Mr. Speaker, as we all also know, because of the timing, the rules of the House says that whatever rules that play to the chamber equally plays at the committee level. And Mr. Speaker, like I'm debating now, I cannot speak now and tell you, Mr. Speaker, when it's time for voting, I'll be voting this way and therefore step out. No, it has to be, I have to be present and be voting, as in Article 104 of our Constitution and our Standing Orders 139. Mr. Speaker, I believe that the committee's conclusion should be that it is by consensus decision. It cannot be by majority decision. It was by consensus decision. But Mr. Speaker, and the most important thing, as Mr. Speaker, you may know because of your deep knowledge of this House and its rules, if we are at a committee to vote until somebody raises quorum, quorum is assumed. If it's time for us to vote, and there's nobody to raise issue of whether we have a full membership or what have you, it is assumed. Mr. Speaker, when people walk out, their names will still be recorded as present. When you are going to record those who were present, their names will be recorded. But they cannot say, we are voting, but we are walking out. No. The time that they were saying they were voting was not time for voting. So, Mr. Speaker, I want the House to consider this and amend the committee's report to indicate that the decision was by consensus, so that they do not take more of our time. Mr. Speaker, most importantly on the nominee, for me, I'm wondering why our colleagues are even doing what they are doing. Because, Mr. Speaker, it is very clear by Article 146 of the Constitution, where the President is mandated, if there is petition, to remove a Chief Justice or otherwise, the proper procedure was followed to the end. And if you have a challenge to that, it is not on the floor of Parliament that you come and challenge that. Mr. Speaker, the nominee, if you look at his experience, you and I, Mr. Speaker, with all humility, were members of the Appointments Committee when we vetted him in 2008. I was a backbencher member of the Appointments Committee, and he's been there for 17 years. Mr. Speaker, if you look at his impeccable records, you will be wondering why has he not been Chief Justice long ago. Because, Mr. Speaker, this is one person that has run his career through almost all the government. He got to the bench through President Rawlings, as indicated by even the committee's report. He got to the High Court through President Rawlings. Then, through President Kufuor, he went to the Appeals Court and the Supreme Court. And he's one of the very experienced persons that we have. If you look at his experience, if you look at the things that he's been able to do, even academically, and you wonder why he was not even made a Chief Justice earlier. But like we said, everybody marks his time. This is his time. This is the time for Justice Paul Bafuboni. And Mr. Speaker, we must support him and encourage him to be able to give out his best, as he himself had indicated in the record. But Mr. Speaker, I want us to look at the issue of the committee's conclusion, saying that it's by majority decision. Mr. Speaker, I strongly believe it is by... Thank you very much.
Honourable Member, very difficult to accede to your request because you now have to define what voting means. What do you mean by voting? Do you have to use a thumbprint? Can you use your mouth to vote? There are so many ways that you can determine somebody has voted. The report is very clear. It says after the minority leader made his submission, which was preliminary, it stated clearly and is quoted, the minority caucus hereby vote en bloc to reject the nominee. That is at the public hearing. And so, clear indication as to voting. Then, getting to the end of the report, the chairman captured it again, where he says, in conclusion, all the members of the New Patriotic Party minority were opposed to and voted against the nomination of the Chief Justice. That is what we have. And so I'm saying that then you have to define what we mean by vote. Has it got to be a physical indication either by thumb or pen, or could it be by word? And that one, we may have to look at it again. Then he concluded, the chairman, the committee therefore recommends to the House by majority decision. He didn't tell us how the majority came by the decision. And it could be just the discussion there that they agreed that we support the nomination. That will be a decision, and that will be a way of voting. And so once they took that decision and adopted the report, we cannot question that they haven't been voting at the committee level. That is the challenge I have. And so I'll have difficulty in directing that the report of the committee be amended to capture the views that you've expressed. May we now go on to the next person, and that is the Honorable Member for Tampuli Alasan. Tampuli Hassan, your constituency is Gushegu. Gushegu. No. That is his name here. Speaker, yes, please.
I'm sorry, but Speaker, with respect, I submitted the names from the minority, and as far as I can recollect, the next to speak is the Honorable Samir Oku. Speaker, if you may indulge me. That is the list. No, that's the list.
Well, that is what I have here, but when your leader was speaking, he mentioned Tampuli before. But what you actually submitted to me, the third name is Sami Awuku, which is 5 minutes. But in his submission, he mentioned Tampuli first.
I would respect, not to challenge the leader, but we will respectfully require of you that we go by the list. So we will. So
Honorable Sami Awuku,
yes,
5 minutes.
Thank you, Speaker.
Right Honorable Speaker, let me thank you for the opportunity to comment on the Appointment Committee's report on the President's nominee for the office of Chief Justice.
Are you contributing to it or you are commenting?
I'm contributing to it, Right Honorable Speaker.
Because the two are different. The two are different. If you are going to comment, I will take note of that. If you say you are going to contribute, then I take note.
Right Honorable Speaker, I'm contributing.
You may go on.
Mr. Speaker, I listened to the First Deputy Speaker as he eloquently also touted the achievement of the President's nominee, including his diligence and competence. Mr. Speaker, this is a sharp departure from a previous position when Justice Bafuboni was nominated for the office of Supreme Court judge under President Kufuor. The NDC vehemently opposed it anyway. Mr. Speaker, our position and that of the minority is not premised on personal grounds, but clearly on a matter of principle. Mr. Speaker, pursuant to Article 1446 of the Constitution, it is clear that the judiciary currently is not leaderless. The acting Chief Justice enjoys the powers of exercising his discretion and also the administration of justice. Mr. Speaker, what may likely create some genuine crisis in the minds of people will be the invitation of Parliament in helping install a new Chief Justice and the court subsequently, if matters before it are resolved and goes the other way. So, Speaker, for the avoidance of doubt, Article 144 mandates the President, and the President's power to also nominate a Chief Justice is not impaired at all, and it's not challenged. The President has exercised that power by nominating Justice Bafuboni. Parliament's approval function, like all other constitutional powers, must also be exercised consistently with other constitutional provisions, Right Honorable Speaker, including the separation of powers, judicial independence, the sub judice rule, and also respect for pending processes. Right Honorable Speaker, Justice Paul Bafuboni has less than 2 years to retire.
And we respectfully hold the view that this process must also not be rushed. And with all the benefits available to him and the powers available to him as acting Chief Justice, we believe the balance of convenience arguments really can hold sway here. And what is this balance of convenient argument here? If Justice Paul Bafoboni is approved by Parliament today, Right Honourable Speaker, and the ECOWAS Court or Supreme Court decides otherwise, Mr. Speaker, the Constitution does not give direction on how to deal with such matters under such circumstances. Mr. Speaker.
Please, Honourable Member, may you move from that and go to the next topic. You have other issues, go to that.
Right Honourable Speaker, it is our considered position, and we hold a view, and in complete fidelity to the law, that we believe that these processes, we can hold on with it and exhaust the processes. And it's on this basis that we join the House and also call on the House as well to reject the nominee. Thank you.
Honourable Member, thank you so much. You are within your 5 minutes. It was just left with some seconds. Thank you so much for being timeous. We now go to the next person, and that is from the majority side, Honourable Dominic Ayine, the Attorney General and Minister for Justice. You, Honourable Minister, you have 10 minutes. 10 minutes. 10 minutes.
Thank you. Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute to the motion.
Honourable members, he is not speaking as a backbencher. He is speaking as a middle bencher.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute.
Sorry. Yes, Honourable Habib.
Mr. Speaker, with respect, you said he is speaking as a middle bencher, but Mr. Speaker, with the agreement we have, middle benchers don't have 10 minutes. Then you have 7 minutes. So, Mr. Speaker, I'm reminded that unless he is speaking on behalf of the leadership, but if the Attorney General is speaking as a middle bencher, he has 7 minutes, not 10 minutes.
Honourable Member, you are right. But what they submitted, I can see they cancelled the Honourable Eric Opoku 10 minutes, and they gave him 7, and rather gave Honourable Dominic Ayine 10 minutes. That's what I have here on the paper. So he is speaking for 10 minutes. Honourable Eric Opoku is giving 7 minutes. That's what they have done. Please.
Mr. Speaker, with respect, in our case, we did indicate that the minority chief whip, that is the ship and the whip, slot was given to Honourable Anyimedu. That was the reason or the basis for his 10 minutes. So if it is the case that one of the leadership from the majority front bench is ceding his position or his allocation to the Attorney General, then they should indicate so. Rather than that, none of the speakers, apart from the leaders, have 10 minutes to speak. So they should put that on the record, so that it will not be the case that leadership will also speak and then...
I have put that on the record. They don't need to do that. So please, let's move on. You have 10 minutes.
Right Honourable Speaker, thank you very much for the opportunity to contribute to the motion for the approval of His Excellency the President's nomination for appointment as Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana of the Honourable Justice Paul Bafoboni. Mr. Speaker, I have a preliminary observation to make. As was rightly pointed out by the Honorable Zuwaira Ibrahima, I also, the Honorable Member for Salaga South, I also sat through the entire vetting process and observed, sometimes with consternation, about the conduct that was exhibited at the vetting. Mr. Speaker, the Constitution enshrines the doctrine of the co-equality of the three branches of government: the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. The doctrine of co-equality means also implicitly that the principle of comity, and I'm talking about committee as in C-O-M-I-T-Y, must apply in the relationship amongst the three branches of government. What does committee mean? Committee, Mr. Speaker, simply means courtesy extended towards a person that you respect as a co-equal. Mr. Speaker, on that day...
Honorable Member, you have 10 minutes.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Unless you want to tell me...
I will speak within the 10 minutes, Mr.
Honorable
Speaker.
Member, unless you want to tell me that the apology are rendered to the judiciary because of the conduct of some members at the Appointments Committee is not sufficient. Unless that's what you want to tell me, I think that you need to move away from where you are now to another issue. I have done that already on behalf of the whole House. And I did it sitting on this same chair, presiding over this House. So please, don't overstretch that issue again.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I thought rightly that I was adding my voice to your powerful voice about how we conduct ourselves. So I take a cue from you. Mr. Speaker, we on this side of the House, we have no doubt that the President of the Republic appointed the right person to the position of Chief Justice of the Republic. Mr. Speaker, in line with Article 128, Clause 4 of the Constitution, there are three main criteria for qualification as a Justice of the Superior Court. One is high moral character, proven integrity, and that the person should be not less than 15 years experience as a lawyer. Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Chief Justice, the Honorable Paul Bafo-Boni, more than qualifies within the context of Article 128, Clause 4 of the Constitution. He has been a Justice of the Supreme Court or a Justice of the Superior Court for more than 30 years, more than 3 decades. There has been no incident of questionable acts of integrity on his part. Indeed, prior to coming for a vetting, Mr. Speaker, the NIB, or the National Intelligence Bureau, or what we used to call BNI, did background checks on him, and the report came back with a clean bill of health. He is squeaky clean as far as his job as a Justice of the Superior Court is concerned. So there are no questions to be raised when it comes to meeting the constitutional criteria. Mr. Speaker, we all know in this country that our judiciary is at a crossroads, that public trust is fast declining when it comes to the performance of the judiciary. Various studies, empirical studies have shown that that is the case. In that respect, Mr. Speaker, you need an experienced hand to steer the affairs of the judiciary and take us out of that storm. And the right person at this moment in time is no other than the person who has served the judiciary with distinction
for over 3 decades. Mr. Speaker, when he answered the questions, you could see he did so with brilliance. You could see he did so from an experienced standpoint, somebody who knows the judiciary outside out, and he is a person who will steer us out of the troubles that we are now facing in terms of the institutional performance of the judiciary. Mr. Speaker, what caught my eye as the Attorney General and Minister of Justice on that day was when he was asked a question regarding how he was going to transform the judiciary. Mr. Speaker, I am sure the minority will, do well to listen to what I'm going to say. Mr. Speaker, he gave us 3 cardinal pillars on which he is going to transform the judiciary. He said he is going to introduce rules relating to procedural clarity and flexibility. Second, he is going to introduce efficiency in justice delivery. And third, accountability at all levels of judicial decision-making. This is what we need at this point in time in our history. This is what we need for the judiciary to be independent and to perform and deliver justice to the people of this country. Mr. Speaker, on the issue of pending suits, I am, or let me say my office is, a nominal defendant in all the suits. And I know better, looking at the Constitution and our standing orders, than to comment on pending suits before the courts of justice, whether it is the ECOWAS court or it is our own judiciary. But, Mr. Speaker, I want to assure this House and all Ghanaians, our citizens who are listening to us, that nothing untoward, no untoward conduct has emanated from my office. And the minority, with all the experienced lawyers that they have, including but not limited to the Honorable Minority Leader himself, should know that if the Supreme Court comes out with its decision saying that the process of the removal of the Chief Justice was groundless, in other words, there was no ground, there were no legal grounds for the removal. Mr. Speaker, no, listen to this, listen to this. If orders are made, the President of the Republic, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, has no option but to obey the orders of the court. In fact, if he does not obey, the Constitution says that that is a high crime that will result in his removal.
Minister and Attorney General, this is an area that I've given a directive on. You have to move away from it and let's focus on the matter before the House.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Minority Leader is on his feet, yes.
Speaker, with respect, my respected colleague, the learned Attorney General, made reference to me in his submissions. To the extent that I feel misquoted, I just want to take the opportunity to correct the fact on record. He contends that the minority, with all its lawyers, including me, have misconstrued the matters at the various courts, and goes on to make further submission that should there be any ruling in favor of the plaintiff, Her Ladyship Justice Tokonu, Mr. President would obey. Mr. Speaker, the gravamen of my contention and that of my colleagues is to the effect that the learned Attorney General's office, with the time given to file defense in the suit, has failed to do so. That was the argument of bad faith we raised, that in ECOWAS court there's a time, and if we really want to enrich our constitution and enrich democracy, that when a person appears before court, parties to the suit, however nominal, would make their views known. And Mr. Speaker, the learned Attorney General, by making inference to my submission, again says that he is merely a nominal. But as nominal as he is the only party the Constitution provides as the one to file a defense. So it was his duty to take issues, traverse the matters, and Mr. Speaker, throughout the period, he did not. And it was the reason why we argued that, look, having failed to do that on time, you've created a certain lacuna, you've created a certain situation that goes against the rights of the respected former Chief Justice. That was the contention. I was not raising any other thing, but rightly saying that if you had failed on time, especially when you were served with all the processes on time, look at the way the injunction application was speedily heard. The substantive matter was pending long before vacation, and even after legal vacation, you didn't file a defense. You later went to the court to file a process for leave for extension of time, to file your process out of time. Meanwhile, we were receiving a nomination. Meanwhile, Parliament was again bound to hear the nominee. This was the argument we made, and it was not to attack the issue before the court. It was the action of your office, and that is why we raised it. So, Leonard Attorney
Minority Leader,
yes, Mr. Speaker.
We have heard you.
Very well.
Heard you.
Very well.
Please, I was compelled to give him time because you referred to it, and it's not a matter, as I directed earlier on, that is of concern to the motion that is before the House. So kindly move away from there and then make your submissions. I've taken note of the interjections, and you have enough time to make your submission. Please, you may go on.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. There is a point of correction, and because we are a House of Record, Mr. Speaker, I think it is very, very important. The Honorable Minority Leader himself knows very well that the rules of court, CI 16, supplemented by CI 47, the High Court Civil Procedure Rules, accords lawyers the opportunity to apply for extension to file their processes out of time. This is not something strange, and there is nothing sinister in what we have done. So, Mr. Speaker, in rounding up, I wish to employ all of you, my colleagues in this House, that we approve the President's nominee because he is ably and eminently qualified in terms of Article 128, Clause 4 of the Constitution. He is one of the most experienced justices of the Supreme Court that we have, and his experience is definitely needed at this point in time in our history in order to
Honorable Minister, you are timed out. Yes, may we go to the next speaker now, and that is Honorable Tampuli Hassan. You have 7 minutes. Honorable Member, please. I was trying to get the second Deputy Speaker. I just recollected he's on an assignment. So may you kindly give me just 5 minutes. I'll be back, and then you make your submission. Sitting is suspended for 5 minutes.
Mr. Speaker,
Honorable members, next, let's now listen to our colleague, Honorable Tampuli Hassan. You have 7 minutes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to contribute to the report before this House. Mr. Speaker, in doing so, I would like to seek your guidance on paragraph 6.18 on page 27 of the report. And Mr. Speaker, based on your ruling and your interventions in the course of the reflections that have been shared by prior speakers, I would like to seek your guidance, Mr. Speaker. The committee says, for instance, and I quote, "The committee raised concerns regarding the propriety of proceedings with the vetting process, given the pending legal suits challenging the removal of the former Chief Justice. In its response, the nominee affirmed that Parliament was acting fully within its constitutional mandate, emphasizing that the mere filing of a writ or an application for injunction does not automatically stay the performance of a constitutional duty unless a specific restraining order is issued by a court of competent jurisdiction." Mr. Speaker, it continues with the second, third, and fourth paragraphs. Mr. Speaker, with what we have here, and having regard to the fact that you have made your ruling, is it out of order if one continues to speak to this same report in accordance with the rules of this House? Mr. Speaker, I'd like to seek your guidance.
Honorable member, I made a ruling earlier on this matter, not today. In fact, it was a written ruling I delivered here on this matter. And I say none of you challenge that ruling. And that ruling remains the ruling of Mr. Speaker and is binding on the House. So we can no longer go back to it. I was talking about my act, not the act of the nominee. Please, and I stay by that.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'll be guided accordingly. Mr. Speaker, it has to be put on record that Justice Paul Bafo-Boni, the nominee for the office of Chief Justice, was appointed to the Court of Appeal by His Excellency President John Agyekum Kufuor. Mr. Speaker, at the time that he was being nominated or appointed to the Court of Appeal, there were High Court justices who had served in the High Court long before him, but President Kufuor found him suitable to be taken to the Court of Appeal. Mr. Speaker, subsequently, after 2 years, even though Justice Paul Bafo-Boni met his seniors at the Court of Appeal, President Kufuor again found him suitable to take him to the Supreme Court. So, Mr. Speaker, largely we on this side of the divide are not opposed to the nomination of Justice Paul Bafo-Boni for any personal. Listen to me, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we are not opposed for any personal reasons. We are opposed to his nomination based on principle of the pendency of matters by the Justice Tokonu, which are still pending before courts. And we have taken this principal position just to let you know that we do not have any issues. In fact, we don't just want to join issues with you, especially regarding the matter of Justice Paul Bafoboni. Mr. Speaker, we have to look at this matter within the framework of the preamble of the 1992 Constitution. Mr. Speaker, we the people of Ghana, in the exercise of our natural and inalienable rights to establish a framework of government which shall secure for ourselves and posterity the blessings of liberty, equality of opportunity, and prosperity. Mr. Speaker, it continues in a spirit of friendship and peace with all peoples of the world, and in solemn declaration and affirmation of our commitments to freedom, justice, and probity and accountability. The principle that all powers of government spring from the sovereign will of the people, the principle of universal adult suffrage, and, Mr. Speaker, my emphasis, the rule of law, supremacy of the Constitution, equality before the law, and respect for the fundamental human rights and freedom of our people. Mr. Speaker, in terms of fundamental human rights of the people and access to justice, Mr. Speaker, embedded in that rule of law thing is the accessible and impartial justice. Mr. Speaker, we must be given usable opportunities when we think our rights have been violated to be able to vindicate our rights. Mr. Speaker, one of the things that we must advert our minds to is that when there are pending matters, it's important that I am allowed to finish the process before a decision will be taken that will prejudice my rights. And Mr. Speaker, we are not saying this because this is Justice Tokonu, but this right must be available to every one of us and every Ghanaian. Mr. Speaker, fair legal procedures. Mr. Speaker, if I take a matter to court, I have every right to complete the matter before I'm told that my issue is foreclosed. Mr. Speaker, if matters are pending before courts and you leave the office, Mr. Speaker, Article 1446 provides situations where a justice of the Superior Court, including the Chief Justice, may lose office. Stated misbehavior, incompetence, and inability to perform the functions of the office. Mr. Speaker, what we are saying is that if we go ahead to confirm Justice Paul Bafoboni and he becomes the Chief Justice, and in the event that the pending cases terminate in her favor, what happens to that office? Mr. Speaker, we anticipate that there will be constitutional nuclear meltdown, and that is what we intend to avoid.
Honorable member.
Mr. Speaker.
Honorable member, please. I don't know how many times I have to draw the attention of members to this matter. That is not what is before us. Finality of the rule of law is pronounced and is in the bosom of the court. Legislative power, the power to make laws, is in our bosom. The Constitution added the power to approve, that is, give prior approval to nominees by His Excellency the President. And that is exactly what we are doing. As to whether our decision is the final rule of law, is for another body to determine. And so the proper venue, and I keep on emphasizing that, is not this house, it's the court. And so please, once you have the matters pending there, the matters will continue to pen there, and you can vindicate those rights there. The judiciary cannot say that because Parliament is considering a bill that may have some effect on a matter before the judiciary, they'll have to hold on until we pass the bill before they proceed with the matter. They can't say that. The same, I'm just putting it in simple language, that once a matter is before the judiciary, they can't say because that matter is before the judiciary, Parliament is stopped from also performing its function of lawmaking, of oversight, of these approvals and the rest until they finish adjudicating the matter. So we have to go on with ours. And that is exactly what we are doing. We cannot be stopped. I have given my ruling on this, and you are bound by it. If you are not, you know the rule in our standing orders. You know what to do. If you are not satisfied with that, you also have the courts to go and vindicate your rights. But so far as the matter before us is concerned, let's stick to that matter. Let's go on with that, and then later on you can proceed with whatever you want to do. But for me as Speaker, I preside. I don't judge. I preside. And I'll preside and make sure that what the rules say should happen will happen. At the end of the day, the House will be given the opportunity to take the decision. The rest, you can proceed on after that, please. So let's move on to the matter before us.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm guided. Mr. Speaker, next I would like to refer this House to Article 1254 of the Constitution, where it says that the Chief Justice shall be subject to the Constitution as be the head of the judiciary and shall be responsible for the administration and supervision of the judiciary.
I told you about the timing. When there was the interjection, it stopped. It's automatic. It's not being controlled by me. Please, kindly give him 1 minute. 1 minute.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, what that provision provides for is that we are not looking at the Chief Justice capacity as a Justice of the Supreme Court, but as a head of the judiciary in terms of the human resource, planning, organizing, directing, control, and discipline of the judicial human resource, the judicial service staff, including even judges. Mr. Speaker, one would be not too far away if you ask the acting Chief Justice whether or not he will be transferring judges, whether or not if a justice of the Superior Court, conducts himself or in any way he will be taking action against the person, or whether or not any disciplinary action can be taken anybody as a judge or any staff of the judicial service. Mr. Speaker.
The 1 minute is over again. So, but honorable member, don't be worried about that, because even this constitution, when it was being drafted, it was said to be drafted by hairdressers. Now, when it was approved, the people who stated that the hairdressers were drafting constitution kept on applauding the good works of the hairdressers. So, and you have also done that today. It's just that politicians are a different breed of human beings. So that is the challenge we have in the world. May we proceed to the next person, and this time from the majority side, and that is Honorable Eric Opoku. Honorable, you have 7 7
much.
minutes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute to the motion before this House. Mr. Speaker, this House is witnessing inconsistency in its highest apogee. Inconsistency that has never been seen on the floor of this House, except today. Mr. Speaker, you recall that in the last year of Mr. President John Ajekum Kufuor, 2008, Justice Paul Bafuboni was elevated to the position of Supreme Court Justice. And the Appointments Committee's report was submitted to this House for approval. Mr. Speaker, that day, records of this House indicate that the minority we see today, they were in the majority. And they extolled the virtues of this man right in this chamber. They describe him as competent.